Hey guys, this is Andre from the East Village Times and the SDSU football podcast. Obviously, the first Aztec football game against Arizona did not go as well as Aztec Nation would have wanted. Especially the defense had one of its poorest performances, I think, in this Brady Hoke, Kurt Maddox era the past 2.5 seasons. While I think the defense had a poor game, they did do a few nice things as well that I think one should be highlighted. They did force 2 turnovers on back-to-back possessions in the second quarter that looked like at least that one couple seconds that led to tying the game at 17 before a penalty, and the rest of the game kind of went downhill from there. I want to show you guys what they did on the second turnover that led to Noah Tumblin's first career interception, and the unique and creative personnel package and design that Coach Maddox drew up here that directly led to this interception, in my opinion. So this play, it's 3rd and 9 for Arizona on their own 26. It was 3rd and 4, but they got a delay of game penalty, which pushed them back to a 3rd and 9. Arizona comes out here on an 11 personnel. They've got 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 wide receivers. Here's Jacob Cowing in the slot, where obviously if you watch the game, he had 3 touchdowns, 152 yards, primarily out of that slot. But the Aztecs did something they did not do on any other play in the entire game. They subbed out their 3rd defensive lineman and brought in backup safety Jalen Maiden. Yes, Jalen Maiden, who was a quarterback on the team last year, converted to safety in the spring and was listed as the backup Aztec to Patrick McMorris on the depth chart for this game. This was Jalen Maiden's only defensive snap in the game. And he is here lined up right here about 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. Caden McDonald moved over to defensive end on this play from linebacker. You've got Jonah Tavai, who is also a defensive lineman. He started as a defensive end, but moved inside, played inside last year. And then you've got Keyshawn Banks, the other defensive end up here. Jalen Maiden looks like he's playing a defensive line, quasi linebacker role. I think this definitely confused the Arizona offensive line. It looks like he's about to blitz or rush the passer. You've got these other guys, they're all standing. By the end of the right before the snap, he is the only one that ends up putting his hand on the dirt, on the ground. Jonah Tavai, Keyshawn Banks standing up, Jalen Maiden standing up as well. You've got linebackers by Cajo and Michael Shawcroft here. They're lined up about 6 yards off the ball. You've got Noah Tumbiin up here at the top of the screen, and Noah Avenger corners also about 5 or 6 yards off the ball. Aztec Patrick McMorris is in his Aztec role here, and then you've got Barfield and CJ Baskerville as the safeties here. So very unique. Here as we play it, see Caden McDonald puts his hand in the dirt, but Keyshawn Banks and Jonah Tavai are still standing up. I think that's key, because I think it adds to the confusion for the Arizona offensive line. As you see here, Caden McDonald and Keyshawn Banks rush on the outside while Jonah Tavai is rushing inside with the right guard. Jalen Maiden doesn't rush, doesn't drop back. He stays exactly where he was at the snap, which means he was a quarterback spy. I think using Maiden as a quarterback spy is interesting because he's a former quarterback. He knows quarterback tendencies. And I think that's the reason why they put him in this spot, because I think who better would know what a quarterback is thinking or trying to do or potentially wanting to do than a former quarterback himself. So Maiden stays here. You see Caden McDonald here has a step on his outside, has on the right tackle. Keyshawn Banks and the left tackle are fairly even. And then Jonah Tavai is going up against the right guard. As we click a little bit more, Look right here. Caden McDonald beats the tackle to the outside and essentially forces Jaden Delora to have to step up 2 yards. Keyshawn Banks is also getting there. So if Jaden Delora would have stayed in his exact 8-yard drop, Caden McDonald would have gotten a sack. Jalen Maiden still where he's at, but look at the left guard and the center. They are blocking absolutely nobody. Whenever you rush 3 guys, the problem with getting to the quarterback is that you'll get 2 double teams potentially from the 2 guys that aren't manned up against one of those 3 rushers. In this case, the design confused the Arizona offensive line to the point where they had 3 single coverage, single blocking on all 3 rushers and 2 free blockers not doing anything. More on that. Jalen Maiden's still there. So as Jaden Delora steps up because of the outside pressure, ideally, he probably wants to run out of the pocket in this area right here where there's a lot of room, where he could potentially run for a first down if the defenders don't come up to try to stop him. Or if they do, then he could potentially dump it off to one of these receivers that are left up alone. Ideally, that's what Jaden Delora would want to do. But he sees Jalen Maiden parallel to him, and he knows Jalen Maiden's going to go with him as soon as he makes his way left. And then he's got 2 big guys in front of him that technically get in his way. As you can see here, as he goes to throw, not only is he does he make a one-legged running throw? It looks like he's about to run into the left guard, which probably doesn't let him have the same zip on the ball that he showed in other plays. And that makes a big difference here. As we keep going, you see there, he basically threw that one-legged and was about to hit his arm on the back of the left guard's shoulder if he didn't kind of bring his hand back quickly. Jalen Maiden's right there. Caden McDonald trailing. And then what happens with having only 3 guys rush and a spy, you got 7 guys dropping into a zone coverage. It looked like a cover 2 with Patrick McMorris kind of playing that middle linebacker spot in the cover 2, and then the 2 outside safeties, Barfield and Baskerville, as the 2 guys deep. So you've got 7 guys playing zone coverage, covering 5 guys, right? Because in the 11 personnel that Arizona was at, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 receivers, they sent 5 guys out for passes. And the running back didn't make too far from the line of scrimmage. So in reality, they had 7 guys playing defense on 4 guys that were trying to get first down passes. With Noah Tumbiin playing a zone facing the quarterback, and with the fact that Jaden Delora doesn't get as much zip on the ball, this gives Noah a perfect opportunity to leave his man that he's got right here and cut into the passing window before it gets to Jacob Cowing. Boom. Noah Tumbiin told us when we interviewed him for the SDSU football podcast during the summer that one of his goals for last season, one of his disappointments from last season, was that not getting interceptions, even though he got his hands on several balls. And the first opportunity he gets in 2022, he picks it off. Great play design. As CBS shows the replay, kind of from the overhead angle, you can see the 2 safeties drop back into their cover 2. You'll see McMorris jump up in front and to cover the tight end right here. And then you've got the 2 linebackers and the 2 corners kind of defending the 3 wide receivers. If we keep, and then you can obviously see Jalen Maiden still there, the 3 rushers. And then Tumbiin gets a great play design by Coach Maddox. Obviously, Jalen Maiden, this was his only defensive snap of the game, and he'd caused a turnover. So he's probably in the film room, in the meeting rooms, in practice, telling coaches, "Hey, I have 100% turnover rate," and when I'm playing in the game. So really good design. That's why, with such smart defensive minds as Coach Maddox, Coach Hoke, such talented players with a lot of varying skill sets, the Aztecs defense will be fine this year. They'll figure it out, starting with Idaho State. One final comment, a tip of the hat to my partner in crime, Paul Garrison. Paul actually called. He saw Jalen Maiden getting subbed in before this play happened, and he mentioned it to me. We were sitting next to each other, and he straight up called it. Hey, is he going to be a quarterback spy based on where he was lined up? So Paul nailed this play before the snap. So tip of the hat to him, and tip of the hat to the San Diego State coaching staff and the players for executing this play. That's it for today. A lot more to come as the season goes on, and hopefully more of these breakdowns will involve plays that led to the Aztecs winning instead of losing. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.